It's been a few days and I've been making a video every day for an entire year, and I hit the goal. Actually, I said 300 and I realized how much I've lost count of the videos that I've done in other places, because my point was to make videos in all types of spaces. And the reason why I did it in the first place was to prove to myself consistency, see the start of the year to the end of the year, and just kind of figure that stuff out. But over the course of time, I realized that as someone who has very varying levels of interest in things, like it popped around from like music to like productivity to, you know, starting a business, all that stuff. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that it's not about like what you do, it's how much you put into it. And for me, social media was something that was scary for me. And putting in something that I wanted to see was what mattered for me. So like when I go to YouTube, I just feel like I see so many mass-produced, high-production videos, which is nothing wrong with that, but it makes me feel like some of the authenticity and things behind it like kind of lose its feeling. Becomes more like a production, this big money churning, money making thing. And I guess all that to say that I wanted to create the stuff that I was used to watching, you know, the comfort YouTube, the finding out about other people's lives. I find other people's stories and careers and things so interesting. And I find that there are things that I never would have known about if people didn't share it. And being that one person to share something that you care about, whether that's tech, whether that's music, whether that's philosophy, whether that's whatever, art, sports, games, it's important. I think we lose track and sight of what others are doing because we get so wrapped up in ourselves, and it actually can benefit us to find out something that you've never known before. A lot of people will watch someone that they didn't know that career could exist, and it lets them find a passion of theirs, it lets them find something that they want to do, and it actually can benefit people to pay attention to other people, and learn the things about them. And I'm not saying comparisons, I'm not saying to be all in their business, but I'm also saying like being more open-minded to what people have to say can be so important. And so I say all that because I was one of those people who did the same thing. Like, I liked music, I liked tech. I thought you had to go a very traditional route. With tech, you just had to find a job. With music, you had to make the right connections or play in a band, you know, concert band, jazz band, play for a company. But the more I realize it, the more I realize that you don't have to do those things. You can make your own path, you can make your own way. And the more I realize that, the more I realize how much I want to be someone who owns my own stuff, my own company, my own time. I have the hardest time working for people. And it's not that I don't do my part or my job or anything like that, but just internally, it's always like a storm after a while that it feels like I could be doing more. I'm just like putting money in some big bucks corporation's pocket to do whatever big bucks corporation was gonna do. I'm kind of tired of that. And I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to, sorry, y'all, I have a little bit of a cold. I want to be able to give people a part of me in a way that's just more human. If I help them with their computer, they're not just calling like Geek Squad, corporation, have them do their computer. They get to meet a new person who cares and wants their stuff to be done correctly, and they want their stuff to be done like the way I would want it to be done. When I make music, I'm not making music to just make money. If I were doing that, I would do it differently, right? But I make music because I love it, and I want to share what's in my brain, and I want other people to know that they can make music however they want to make it. I think we need to prioritize people more when we think about what we're doing. And again, I don't mean that in a way that you put people's things above you, but just being more open-minded, being more mindful of what others do, because you never know what will stand out to you and change your life. For me, music was one where I watched other people do it, and I realized that I could do it, with DJing and things like that. And I did my own show and I started my own stuff. And same with like tech. Like, I didn't think, like, watching like people who have startups and things that they do and make apps and do it all on their own, it's very inspiring. Now, I don't make apps, but I do help people with their computers. I help them with their technology. I help them with their networks. And like, that skill is offered, and I actually get people that need that skill. And that's the thing, like, the skill that you have can be used in so many ways, and people try to devalue your skills. People try to make it sound like you have to work for a company. If you can't work for a company, then it's not important. That is not true. It's just what people need. And so I say that because your skill is important. What you do is important. And try and hone that. Till then, I'll see you tomorrow.